Today we are going to cover the topic for the access specifiers, and we will know about all the four types of access specifiers. Hello everyone, this is Meedhansh and welcome back to the Java series. So let's get straight to our screen. Alright, so here we are on the paint window. And today we are going to understand our access specifiers on the paint window only because it's easy to understand over here. So our topic is access specifiers. And access specifiers are also known as access modifiers. So in Java we have four type of access specifiers available. And as the name says that it is like if we talk about the access modifiers, so it is modifying that how that variable or that attribute can be accessed from the other method or the other classes. So let us see. So first we have the public, second is the protected, third we have the default, fourth, the last one is the opposite to public, that is private. And this is the proper sequence which we follow, as this sequence defines the proper way that how is the access modified for different things. But what is default basically? Like we get to know that what is public, protected, private, we get to know at least something, an idea from their name. But what is default? Like default is default, but what is the actual name? So the actual name is the package protected. It is not a much widely known term because the specifier is known as the default only, but still this is the original name. So firstly, let us discuss about the public. So public means that everywhere access, either from the same class or from the different class or from the different package, that is folder. So everywhere access. Then for protected, the access is within the class, within the package, and the package term basically refers to the folder. A normal folder which we create, it is also known as a collection of classes. But if we want a one word definition for a package, so it can either be known as the directory in terms of the CMD, like we do the change directory or make directory. So directory is used in case of CMD command prompt, or otherwise we can usually call it as a folder, and in Java it is known as a package, class, package, and a subclass. Now the concept of subclasses or the child classes is related to the OOPS concepts, which we will understand later, but for now let us just know it as the subclass. Now the third one we have is the default, which is also the package protected. So as the name suggests, we have the subclass crossed out over here. So it can be accessed within the class and just within the package. It is not allowed to be accessed within its own subclass. Then we have the private. So the private can be accessed only within the class. And it is also known as a nowhere access, but at least it has access to one thing, which is the class, and it has a very small scope in that case. But public has access everywhere, like from any folder, from any directory, we can access the public. And in the case of default, the subclass can access the default members, but only if they are within the package. But in the case of protected, if they are in the other package as well, and but they are the subclass of the main superclass, then they can also access the protected members, but it is not possible in the case of default. And the other synonym for default is package protected, or it is also known as, instead of protected, it is also known as private. So both of these terms can be used simultaneously, package protected or package private, because private says that it is private to a particular package, like it can be accessed anywhere but within a single package. And then the private within its own class, nowhere else access. Now let us see some examples for these. We have the four: public, protected, default, and private. So we will define all of them. Let's say we have a package or a folder P1. So it is a package. It is basically a folder or a package in our laptop or PC. And then this package contains two different classes. So I will show the class with the square on the as classes .java classes, and let's say one is named as A, the other is named as B. And then we have another package, let's say here, they both are in the same package. Let's say if we are talking about the D volume, so they both are in the D volume directly. There are some attributes for this one also. It is also a package. I'm just writing the short form pack. So it is the P2. Let's say the name for it is P2, package 2. And now it also has two different classes in it. So now we have four classes and two packages. And let's say this one is named as C and this is the D. So we have A, B, C, D. But this one is in the package 1 or P1 and this one is in the P2. C and D are in the P2. Now in the A, I define, let's say, four different variables in A, and we will define these variables simply. So in the A class, which is a.java, and one more thing I forgot is that the names for the classes must be in the capital. So we will have it capital A, B, C, D, capitals. No matter what is the name of the package, it can be small, big, anything. Now we in this the a.java file, we give, let's say, or we initiate four different variables. First one is, let's say, public int pqrs, so public int p, which has the value 10. Now as the 4xs specifiers, we will define all of them. Then we have the protected int, let's say q is equal to 20. We can define any value, we can assign anything. Then if we don't write anything and we simply write int, so since it default, Java will by default assign it the package private or package protected. So pq, then we have another one r, which is, let's say, 30, and then we have the private. So private, which is s, is equal to 40. Now this is the code, but just for reference, like these are the attributes which we have defined inside the a.java file. So we have the pqrs in the a, p, q, r, s. Okay, so we have the four variables a inside the a class, and now we want to access them. So if I access all of them inside a, over here, if I access the value for p and q, r, s, so all of them will work. Why? Because all of them are defined within the same class. As we saw for the public, or let us just shorten it a little. We will just keep it over here as our reference code. So now inside the A, if we access the P, Q, R, S, so all will work successfully. Why? Because all the four are within the same class, and any modifier or specifier so in case of public, it is accessed anywhere, so if, obviously it will be within the same class as well. So we can access the public, so P is tick, it can be accessed, because for now we are talking about the A class. Then we have the Q. Q is our protected. So protected can also be accessed because it can be accessed by the same class, within the same class, within the same package or folder, or within the same subclass. Not same subclass, but its subclass. So if we have a subclass for A, then we can access it over there as well. And for the S also, S is our private and R is our default. So in case of default, we can access them within the class and within the package only. And in the subclass, if that subclass is in the package. So yes, it can also be accessed, R can also be accessed, and then the S. S is the private. But private members can be accessed only through one place, which is the same class. So yes, all of these codes can be accessed if we are trying to access them within the A class. Now, if we try to access all of them in the B class, so let us say that it is the code for b.java. So if we are trying to access the P, Q, R and S, let's say we write the name A dot, A dot, A dot and A dot. So if we try to access all of them, which of these will work? Let us see. A dot P. P is our public. So yes, it can be accessed. Public is accessed from anywhere. So it is yes for everything. Now turn for the Q. Q is protected. So yes, it can also be accessed. Now R. R is the default or package private. So it can also be accessed because our B class is within the same package, which is P1. So it is the same package and thus it can also be accessed. A.S, it is private. So can it be accessed? Yes or no? It is no. Why no? Because it is private, and as we saw that private cannot be accessed by any other class except the same one within which it is defined. Now we will write some code for the C, and let us say that C is extending or is inheriting from A. Basically it is the subclass for A. Okay, so it extends A, and now in the C.java, which is the subclass for A, now we will try to print the value for A.P, A.Q, A.R and A.S. For S it is definitely no, because it is the different package and it cannot be accessed in the same package, so how can it be accessed in the different one? So that is why it is a big no for the S, because it is private. Now turn for the P. P is public. We have defined it as public. So yes, it can be accessed. Now Q. Q is a protected member. Now it can also be accessed. Yes. What was the property for the protected one? It can be accessed within the same class, within the same package, or by the subclass from the different package as well. The subclass for A is present in the different package, and yes, it can also print the value for Q. If it didn't extend the A, then the answer would have been no. So now for the R, R is the default. So can default be accessed? The answer is no. The reason is that it is known as the package protected, package private. So it is private to a single package. It is private to P1. Every class, if there are like 100 more classes over here, there are 100 more classes in the P1. So all those 100 can access the value of R, P and Q. So they can access for all of these, but they cannot access the S in this case as well. And they can access the R because it is within the same package, and B could access the value for R. But the C cannot access the value of R because it is within the different package. It is the P2, so it cannot access it. Now turn for the D, and D is definitely extending the A. Extend keyword means that it is the subclass now. It is the child class of A. Child is above and now child is a superclass. So if we take this example once again, then we can access the P, it is public, so yes, we can access. Now, can we access Q? Q is the protected one. So yes, it can also be accessed. Why? Same property that it is the subclass for A, in which the Q is defined. So if Q is defined within the superclass, then definitely it can be accessed by the subclass. So it can be accessed, this one can be accessed. R cannot be accessed again. It does not have any specifier. So it has the default. So default is the package protected or the package private. So D is outside the P1, so it definitely cannot access the R. And then for S, it is private, so it can definitely not be accessed. So let us just summarize what we did in today's lecture. So we got to know many things about the access specifiers or modifiers, that how do they work. There are 4 types of them: public, protected, then we have the default, which is also known as the package protected or the package private. Then we have the last one, which is the private. And I have a chart as well which can simply tell us how do they work. So let me just remove this all, and now this is the chart. So I am taking the public first according to the sequence. So public, protected, then we have the default, and then last we have the private. So now let us talk about the accesses, like in a short way, and you can even screenshot this chart once it's done. So we will take the heading within the class, then within the package, subclass, and the world. World here we are referring to if it is not class, if it is not package, if it is not subclass, then all the rest of the things are the world. So for public, it can be accessed in the class, it can be accessed in its own package, in the subclass, and in the world. So it can be accessed everywhere. Now for protected, it can be accessed in its own class, within the class, within the package, within the subclass. Subclass can be anywhere in any package. So yes, it can be accessed in any subclass, and but not within the world. No. Then we have the default package private. So it can be accessed within the class, within the package, and with or not within the subclass. It depends upon the circumstance. So it is yes or no. Why yes? Because if there is a subclass within the same package, then it can be accessed in that case. If there is a variable which is default, so it can be accessed by the subclass if it is in the same package. But in the case of no, if it is in the different package and it is the subclass, then it cannot access the default members. And no, definitely not in the world as well, because it is only limited till the package. It is known as the package protected. Then we have the private, does not like to go anywhere. So he can just be within its own class, its own zone, and nowhere else. It has nowhere access. For these 3, not for this one, just for these 3, it has the nowhere access. And for the class, all of them have the access. For the public, for protected, default, and private, all of them have the access for the own class, but some of them have for package. 3 of them have for package, two of them for subclass, the third one depends on the circumstances, and last one for world only public can be accessed anywhere. Like you must have seen that in the previous classes when I did the practical. So over there, like I defined the main method class as the public class. So why public? Because we are accessing it through the command prompt, which is cmd, also known as cmd, and we are accessing our class, which is kept in some other folder, which was the Java YT. Java YT is the directory in which our class was kept. And when I try to access using the cmd to my class, then if my class was either package protected or it was private, then it couldn't have been accessed by the cmd. So therefore it must be defined as public, because cmd is somewhere in the C drive, but we have the Java YT folder in the D drive. So the drives are different. Even like not just the package, but the drives are different. So in that case, it must be public so that the cmd can access our class, which is kept in our directory. In our case, it is the Java YT. So you can take a screenshot for this. This is a very useful chart that how and where can all these specifiers be accessed. For the public, all of them can be accessed, and for private, nothing except its own class. So that is it for today. I hope the video was insightful for the access specifiers. And if you have any queries related to it, you can comment down below. So thank you very much for watching, and I will see you in the next one.